Welcome to this very special roundtable discussion. My name is Jared Biggins and I am the APAC Market Manager for iClassPro. We are privileged to have with us today three distinguished professionals, each of which with a strong Olympic connection. These people have not only made their mark in the world of sports, but have also successfully transitioned into the business arena. We are privileged at iClassPro to have clients that have made their mark in the world of elite sports, and these three individuals representing Australia and New Zealand have, in the spirit of the upcoming Paris 2024 Games, generously agreed to share their sporting and business experiences with us. Now to the introductions. Susie McKeon, an Australian swimmer, has a strong connection to the Olympics and a remarkable family legacy in the world of swimming. Susie swam in the 1982 Commonwealth Games. Her husband, Ron McKeon, swam in the Olympics in 1980 and 1984. Her brother, Rob Woodhouse, was an Australian Olympic swimmer who competed in 1984 and 1988, winning a bronze medal. Her son, David McKeon, competed in the 2012 and 2016 Olympics. Her daughter, Emma McKeon, swam in the Olympics in 2016 and 2020 and will also compete this year in Paris. Her medals to date just in Olympic competition include 5 gold, 2 silver, and 4 bronze, as well as being an 8-time world record holder. Tell me if I've missed any, Susie, in a moment. Susie and Ron are both directors at McKeon Swim School, with locations in Unanderra and Tawaji, New South Wales. McKeon Swim School has been using iClassPro since February 2022. Welcome, Susie.
Thank you. Thank you, Jared.
Did I miss any medals?
Not that I can recall.
Good. Dean, that is what's called a hard act to follow. Dean Kent is a 3-time Olympic swimmer who represented New Zealand in 2000, 2004, and the 2008 Olympics. At the 2004 Olympics, Dean set a New Zealand record in the 200-metre and 400-metre individual medleys. His brother Stephen Kent also represented New Zealand in the 2012 Olympics. Dean now works at Northern Arena, Learn to Swim and Fitness Facility in Auckland, New Zealand, heading up swimming. Northern Arena has been using iClassPro since October of 2023. Welcome, Dean.
Thank you, Jared.
And Georgia. Georgia Benor, I should be formal. Georgia Benor is an Australian gymnast and Commonwealth Games medalist who represented Australia in artistic gymnastics at both the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing, China, and the 2012 Summer Olympics in London. Georgia is the current owner and head coach of Benora Sport, located in Dramana, Victoria. Benora Sport has been using iClassPro since January of 2023. Welcome, Georgia.
Thanks, Jared.
No problem. All right, so we're going to start off with Susie. Susie, your family has had an incredible legacy in swimming, spanning multiple generations and international competitions. With such a strong family presence in the world of competitive swimming, what are some unique challenges and benefits of having such a close-knit support system in the world of sport?
Well, I think it's both been beneficial but also quite challenging because everybody knows us. Everybody knows the family, especially in Wollongong. Wollongong's a regional area of New South Wales, so it's not a we are the sort of major provider here in Wollongong, and everybody certainly does know the family. So we have that reputation, which can be challenging, but also, I guess, very helpful in what we are doing. We have 3 children, and our youngest one, she's a paramedic now, but she finds it, and has been a beautiful swimming teacher along the way, but she has found it challenging because everyone has compared her and her swimming prowess. I mean, she was a lovely swimmer, but not a representative swimmer, and she was a school swimmer really, and to the other 2, and it's been a bit of a journey along that way for sure. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, we're proud of our legacy in the sport, both under the Woodhouse name, which was my maiden name, and of course my brother, and he's now the CEO of Swimming Australia, and the McKeon name, and sort of what we're, I guess, leaving behind is for swimming in the Illawarra.
Just as a side note, I swam for Nunawading Swim Club, and the squad that I was in was called Woodhouse Squad.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
You might have told us that when we were doing our training with you back then, yeah.
I don't have a lot of stories. People have heard most of them. The McKeon Swim School has been a staple in Wollongong since 1986. Your swim school offers a wide range of programs beyond just learn to swim lessons. You do aqua aerobics, you've got competitive coaching. How do you balance and integrate these diverse programs to create a comprehensive swimming community within your business?
We like to think that we're sort of the one-stop shop, so we offer everything from babies right through to elite swimming, and obviously we have sort of put people right from junior national teams and also on the Olympic team as well. And we also cater for the cultural women's groups and Indigenous groups and so on. We've got our own facilities, so we're able to cater for what the need of the community is, and I guess that's all part of our legacy and in swimming in the Illawarra is everything that we do cater for in our organisation.
Excellent. And you've witnessed significant changes in the swimming industry over the years. How have these changes been influenced by what's happening at the Olympics, and what impact have they had on your swim school?
Well, there's no doubt that in particular Emma's success has had an impact for our reputation and the name in Wollongong. Every 2 years, really, because the Commonwealth Games as well, but also the Olympics, you get a big influx of children wanting to swim. So we're not really talking about learn to swim there. We're often talking about those little mini squads and people sort of being inspired by what they see on the television. And there's you've got to capture that every 2 years and really grab it and run with it, because that's your opportunity to keep swimming in the limelight.
Absolutely.
Mm.
All right, Dean, I've got a couple for you now. Susie, we will be coming back. Dean, you were inspired by the 1984 Olympics. You told your babysitter, this is the first time I'm hearing this, after watching, that's what I want to do. Go to the Olympics for New Zealand. You didn't initially qualify for the national junior competitions, but you eventually went on to represent New Zealand in 3 Olympic Games. That's a pretty impressive journey. How do you aim to create that same level of inspiration and aspiration in the young swimmers at Northern Arena?
Yeah, I think, my mum and dad were both swimmers and surf lifesavers. And, when I told them that I wanted to go to the Olympics, they were like, oh, that's nice. But my babysitter actually, was a psychologist with troubled youth. And he saw something in me that, that belief or that drive perhaps, because it's obviously in any sport, but certainly my knowledge around swimming is it's very, very difficult to actually achieve that kind of that goal. So the key thing that we've always worked on and that my mum and dad fostered in me was enjoyment. If you're enjoying what you're doing, then the kids have got a chance. If you foster a love of swimming and sometimes even of exercise, then there's a chance that they might want to carry that through. So we want kids to love coming swimming. And after a while, and obviously fostering that success with promotion through the levels of swim school, after a while it becomes their choice and their journey.
Excellent. And what was your most challenging moment, either competing at the Olympics or leading to it, and how did you overcome that?
Well, I think the most challenging one that I can recall is when I was at the 1999 Pan Pacs trying to qualify for the Sydney Olympics. And I was the men's team captain, and put a lot of pressure on myself to achieve the qualifying time and lead by example, because my race, the 400 medley, was one of the first ones up. And I went down to the marshalling area, a huge amount of time before my race, and was just stewing over it and performed really poorly. And so for me, that was embarrassing. My most embarrassing moment in a black cap. So what I tried to do was get back to what I'm just this little dude from Levin who's competing for his country, and I tried to get back to the fundamentals about my processes and trying to execute my race plan and try and be a little bit more natural, just myself, rather than stewing on it. Just be chatting around with the other guys and then start to focus in as we got closer to the race, but certainly not going down to the marshalling area miles before my race. So getting into, it was a good learning curve, but getting into a process that would help me in future competitions to repeat that. So when it came to the Olympics and the next chance I had to qualify, I was able to, even with the nerves still being there, execute my race plan and try and reach that optimal level of nerves that help you perform to perhaps a little bit higher than what you thought you could.
And I suppose going off script here for a moment, I know a lot of swimmers have their little routines leading up to the blocks. You see these days a lot of them wearing the soundproof headphones, right? We're listening to their song and no one ever knows. What sort of routine did you have when you were getting ready to get up on the blocks? How did we focus in?
I think I just tried to I did listen to some music and that kind of thing, but it was staying obviously you have your warm up procedures and you kind of last chat with your coach in the marshalling area. I was just trying to chat with some of the other guys that were in there that I got to know over the very long time that I was competing, and tried to stay pretty calm about it, because obviously at that level you've raced the race in your head 100 times. You know exactly what you've got to do and what you've got to execute. So I became quite good at being able to squeeze the lemon for all the juice that you could get out of it on the day, regardless of whether I'd been injured or ill, or whether that preparation had been absolutely perfect. And I think that sometimes those things weigh on people's mind when you go into that cauldron of the room beforehand. But I was kind of able to get myself into that state of calm and ready to race.
Excellent. Since retiring, you've been recruited by your former swimming and surf life-saving teammate Matthew Saunders to pass on your passion for swimming at Northern Arena. Tell us about that transition. Was it easy for you to switch from being an elite swimmer to heading up Northern Arena?
No, I was very, very lucky. Obviously, I didn't actually know whether I'd enjoy teaching kids, but as soon as I started doing it, I just kind of it clicked. I knew I loved doing it and loved helping kids and passing on the passion of swimming. I just couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity that swimming has provided me, and certainly my association with Matthew and the Saunders family, because now I get to do what I love on a daily, weekly basis. But yeah, certainly it was they took a risk on me, and I think the hardest thing probably is as a competitor at that level, you really have to be quite selfish. And I think the hardest thing for elite athletes, if you're doing that for a number of years, is switching that off or changing your habits. And so certainly the hardest thing is to make sure that your habits then become perhaps what the society would call more normal. And you've got to be focused on other people, not just yourself.
The risk has paid off. I mean, pretty clear the risk has paid off. Northern Arena emphasizes the importance of learning to swim as a fundamental skill. How do you ensure that this philosophy is integrated into every aspect of your swimming school's programs and culture?
Well, for every activity that we do in the swim school at Northern Arena, we want to have a really good reason why. So for when you drill down into every little thing we do in our lesson plans, and it's very structured, there has to be a good reason for doing that activity. With even play-based activities, there has to be an outcome that's helping that child on their journey, the sequence, and it has to flow. So we really are passionate about everyone learning to swim, regardless of background, whether they perhaps neurodiverse or physically, there might be a para athlete. We take everyone, all ages, and we just want to make sure that we setting them up in the best possible opportunity to be able to enjoy the water. And so I think that having a good reason for everything we do and taking everyone that we possibly can and helping them kind of flows through organically into our marketing and the way we kind of present as an organization. So, it makes it, my marketing guy says it just makes his job very, very easy, because we've always got an answer, and it helps him, kind of, I guess, explain that through our marketing as to why it's a good thing to do. And I guess the main thing is now, because we've, proven ourselves and are that passionate about helping people, that word of mouth referral is probably our biggest way we get customers, because they know that we care and that we go, not out of our way, but as do as much as we can to help people progress.
Excellent. Final one for you before we let Georgia have a turn here. With Northern Arena's impressive statistics, including teaching 25,000 swimmers and conducting 450,000 lessons, what strategies do you employ to maintain high standards and ensure a positive experience for each student and member?
Look, we all, Matthew, Mark, and I have, ex-competitive swimmers and surf lifesavers. So that was the kind of the basis of the group, and we've recruited really, really well. We aim high with goal setters, and we want set targets. So I think that again flows through into our the way we recruit and our induction processes for new staff and our training methodology. We get again, some in this industry, some people it's their first job, and so we've got to do a really good job of preparing them for what they're going to be encountering. And then obviously we want them to do a great job with the kids. So I think that we're really proud of that training methodology. We use video a lot. Obviously we have videos of ourselves working with the kids, and all of our skills and that kind of thing are all really detailed. And we also, video our teachers to, because you think you're doing one thing and then the video tells you you're doing it slightly different. And we also developed our own kind of scorecarding. So based on what we think makes a teacher great, including things like, focus on the class or class management in Disney, we call it, trying to make it a magical experience for the kids so they want to come back. Otherwise, we can't help them very much. So with that scorecarding and video process, we find the teachers learning, it really helps us maintain a high standard of quality of lesson. And our senior team is still in the water too. So I think, when we have teachers training, they often train behind me on a Monday afternoon with my little fellas that I'm teaching. So that way we ensure the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And I think through those for those reasons, we're able to maintain a really high standard.
And I think I'd like to hear that one from Susie as well. Have you incorporated any strategies like that yourself? Georgia, you're right up next. But in terms of maintaining those qualities, have you used any strategies like those in your business at McKeon's?
Yeah, we have a couple of positions in the organisation, the training coordinator and program coordinator, and their focus is on what the teachers are doing. And it was interesting listening to you then, Dean. It's we're really proud of our training program that we have with our staff as well. And over the years, there's been hundreds and hundreds of young kids that have come to us, and it is their first job often. And I feel, you have a responsibility to make them into good people that will then go off into whatever career that they might have once they finish university, and you've contributed to that work ethic and that type of person that they're going to be valuable to the next employer as they come along. Because you really got to accept that for most people, you are only a little touch in the ocean as they move through their working journey. So yeah, we do have quite an intensive training program as well. We don't actually do the videoing. I love the fact that the Disney connection that you have there. I mean, that's just absolutely perfect, because it is like that. You want the children to have such a good time that they want to come back next week. It's got to be their highlight of their life. Their week, they're only little, and the highlight of their week is to come into swimming lessons. So they actually do want to come back next week. Yeah. I often tell a story to our new trainees about the importance of you being their teacher and how important you are to them. And I know when Emma was only about 18 months old, and she would bring her swimmers, her cozies, out of her drawer every day, and she called her cozies the name of her teacher, which was Laura at the time. And every day she'd bring her swimmers to me, and she'd go, Laura, ask them to go swimming, because that was the name of her swimmers, and that was her teacher. And that was the impact that she had in first giving her that love of the water and the love of wanting to swim. So yeah, it was good listening to you then, Dee. Yeah, very good.
My little one's in swimming and gymnastics right now, and I know that without her teachers being there, she wouldn't be doing as well as she is. It's amazing the influence they have. And my little one's 2.5, and it's really started her off well. Georgia, same question to you before we get into the ones that I have prepared. How do you train your staff? How do you maintain those high standards and positive experiences?
Yeah, I mean, where Benora Sport is much newer than your facilities that you guys have had. So we're sort of in the process of trying to make sure that our culture um, is right and it's sort of the right environment that they want to learn. Our staff, are excited to come in. They're excited to learn new things. Um, I always sort of think of it as the teaching the gymnastics is the easy part. It's the engaging with the kids, the bringing the energy, making sure that they're encouraging the three E's. Um, that's sort of where the focus is for us, is trying to make sure that they're, um, engaging in the right way so that the kids are really excited and develop that connection with their coach so that they remember the lesson, really.
And follow up, what are the 3 E's?
Well, we say it's really bringing the energy,
Right.
being engaging, and making sure that we're encouraging.
Right. Okay, good.
So they're sort of like
I
how
thought
we
I'd been
sort of
neglecting, not addressing that, right? What are these 3 E's?
yes. So they're the things that we sort of try and tick off in a lesson. So we've got our lesson plans where we're teaching, our core sort of gymnastic ninja parkour skills, but it has to be based around those three things really.
Excellent. You've achieved success, remarkable success in the Commonwealth Games and the Olympics, Georgia. Your academic background in psychology has undoubtedly influenced your coaching methods. How do you draw upon all these experiences to motivate young athletes at your gym to foster a positive environment for their well-being?
Yeah, I think it really, things come out and you have these experiences that trigger sort of memories and past, things that you've learned. Especially when it, the whole Olympic experience, that is very innate. Those things sort of are just become who you are. But the things that I've learned along the way, especially when it comes to psychology, um, I definitely get moments where I recall things that I've learned and I can put it into practice and get better and better at it. And just sort of remembering that, each child is different on their own developmental journey. So it's you can't really kind of have a blanket approach when you're trying to teach kids anything really, especially sort of movement patterns.
Absolutely. And by the way, congratulations on the recent 1 year anniversary of Benora Sport.
Thank you,
Uh,
thank you. It was very exciting.
Initially, it started off as a set-up pack-up gym in a community hall. Now you've got
Yes.
over 200 members, you've got your own dedicated space, you're managing it alongside your co-director and partner. Reflecting on your career and the current state of gymnastics, what are some of the key challenges or trends you've noticed in the sport over the years? How do you think the Olympics has played a role in these developments?
That's a big question. I think gymnastics is slowly starting to sort of change the way um, it's been molded, and it's sort of kind of becoming a little bit more flexible with how it's being taught, especially with Ninja Warrior has been had a massive influence on the sport, just in how we sort of run classes, especially for young boys, because gymnastics hasn't always been the most exciting thing for young boys to try and get them in the door. And Ninja Warrior, it's it's all about movement and being able to control your body and being aware of your body in space. So it all comes under the same sort of family tree, I guess. So I think that's been a massive player in sort of the direction that gymnastics is going, and it's very exciting to see where it keeps heading.
Absolutely. As a new business owner, have you had any lessons so far? What piece of advice would you give to others that are looking to open a gym?
I think I'm a very passionate person. I've got a lot of drive and a lot of, grit. And if I set my mind to something, I'm going to sort of be relentless in pursuing it. Organizational skills, I'm practicing and getting better and better at. I think making sure that you have sort of set processes in place so that, when more and more people come through the door, it's sort of happening in a very sort of strategic, planned out way. I think that's probably the biggest learning curve, is trying to make sure that everything is planned out ahead of time. But that's what you have a team for. So, I have my strengths. The co-owner and my partner has their strengths. So, it's making sure that you have a really good team around you to get the best possible job done.
Excellent. So now we're going to enter into the roundtable sort of portion of today. The question I have here is, what is your favorite Olympic? And I'm going to broaden this to Commonwealth Games as well, moment or memory, and why? And if we could start with Susie.
Okay, well, I guess when you initially sort of put this question forward, obviously it was when Emma won the 100 freestyle in Tokyo, and we were all celebrating in our lounge room because we were all obviously in lockdown at that point of time. But to take that a little bit further, I think I've probably got 3 favourite moments. Certainly that one as a personal moment, but also just the whole of the Sydney 2000 Olympics. We went to most of the swimming events just as spectators, and just the buzz around the whole of the city, even, we're regional and in Wollongong and everyone, the buzz in New South Wales, probably the whole of Australia, I'm going to say, but in Sydney was just, you can't describe it. And it was just so exciting to be a part of that event. And yeah, just everybody was just so happy. Everyone you ran into in the city and around the Olympic precinct at Homebush there was just so excited. So it'd have to be that one as well. And I'm going to say also Paris coming up. This is, probably as a family, well, definitely as our family, sort of that, that last bit of that Olympic journey as a family that we've got. None of us could go to Tokyo when sort of Emma was the superstar, and this time she's sort of, just on the way out there. And we've got a big extended family group going. There's 12 of us from the direct family that are going, and it'll just be a non-stop celebration of I guess lifetime of achievement and enjoyment of the Olympic process. So
It's going to be an amazing games, and I'm looking forward
to
it.
So,
I hope you'll let me know how everything works out for you on that trip, because I'm sure there's going to be memories made. Sydney, I mean, being in Australia and probably New Zealand as well. I mean, what a games. We had it running 24 hours a day. It was always something, well, not 24 because we were in the time zone for once for the Olympics, right? We didn't have to get up at 5 a.m. to watch swimming. But what a great games. Dean, what about you? Favorite Olympic memory or Commonwealth Games memory, and why?
Yeah, I think I've probably got a couple, but I mean, swimming at the Olympics, I've loved Sydney as well. I was very fortunate to compete there. It was my first games, and it was, fantastic. I mean, obviously, I had no previous experience about the Olympics and perhaps some of the shambolic organisation of previous ones, but certainly the Sydney Olympics were nailed. Everyone told me, the ones that people had been on previous games. But my favorite one was swimming in Athens. I just think that we're like the kind of natural home of the Olympics, and my family did something similar to you, Susie. My mum and dad and 3 brothers came across and did a trip of a lifetime to come and watch me swim, and swimming outside and in the sun, and I guess getting to those games, and I'd got sick in Manchester at the Com Games and got 4th, and was obviously pretty dejected after that. So to come back to the Olympics and nail, well, swim my best ever, and essentially just nail my race plans on the day, on the big stage, was pretty special, and obviously in front of my family as well. So that was pretty cool. And then Com Games in Melbourne was another highlight. My father passed away in 2005. So for me, I guess the Com Games in 2006 probably brought a little bit more meaning, and it added a different kind of build up, a little bit of more complexity. And certainly he actually worked for the New Zealand Olympic Committee, so all of his workmates were there in the village with me, and they came along to watch. So it was certainly pretty special. Like, again, on the night in the 200 medley, I did everything I could, and unfortunately a young man named Gregor Tate just put me at the post, put me into silver. But I swam my absolute best, and it was obviously my mum and my now wife were there, and it was a real highlight.
I'd forgotten that Athens was outside. I remember thinking at the time that, boy, swimming backstroke with the sun in your eyes and being an IMer, you would have been, potentially posing some challenges, almost open water swimming in some ways.
Yeah. My directional capabilities weren't that great, mate, so it was a bit of a challenge.
Oh, definitely, but beautiful venue and a little bit more exotic than Sydney for those of us that are in Australia, New Zealand, right?
Well, the prep camp was better, mate, because obviously preparing for Sydney, we were stuck here in New Zealand, so it wasn't too amazing. But then when we got to prepare for the Olympics, we're in Catalonia, so difficult to compare the two.
Absolutely. And then you're in Melbourne. It's like,
close to home,
we're
mate.
back. Close to home. Short commute. Georgia, your favorite Olympic memory or Commonwealth Games memory?
Yeah, I think it was definitely my first Olympic Games. Having that experience, it was such a large, I felt like it was so big being, it obviously is, but being 18 years old, it was such a beautiful cultural event. And I hadn't seen my family for months, and having that last all around sort of competition, hitting all of my routines and then seeing them afterwards was pretty incredible experience. And then also have memories of Laurie Lawrence sneaking us into the basketball game with no tickets, and all of us panicking but just following. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, just follow Laurie. I live by that rule. If I'm at a conference, that's where the fun's going to be. Doesn't matter if it's swimming or apparently gymnastics. I hadn't heard that story before, but I don't think it surprises anyone here, right?
No, we only had tickets to certain events, but he managed to get us to see, so much more than we ever would. So very appreciative for his rule breaking abilities.
Bending.
Bending, exactly.
Bending. Laurie doesn't break, he bends. Bends a long way.
Yes.
Susie, what are you most looking forward to at the Paris Olympics? I mean, you've got a special family connection to this one. What's coming up that's really got you excited?
As in what events do you mean?
Just in general, what are you looking forward to?
I think what I'm looking forward to is the fact that we've got such an extended family going, and it'll be like a big family holiday, and of course, going to the swimming and going as a group to support Emma, and just lapping it all up, well and truly. Who cannot in Paris for a start?
Well, yeah. Again, another one of these exotic destinations.
Yeah, well and truly.
Dean, what about you? What are you looking forward to at the Paris Games?
Yeah, just obviously looking forward to watching the Kiwis, in particular, obviously the swimming. A bunch of us old New Zealand swimmers saw off the new crop, and we've got a couple of people on the team that are pretty special to Northern Arena, with Cam Gray, who's training here at Coast Swimming Club on the premises, and Eve Thomas, who now trains in Australia. But she, came up learning to swim through a lot of our levels. before moving to Australia for her training and that kind of stuff. So, and in the Coast Swimming Club. So, yeah, a couple of people that we want to watch, and I'm just excited about being able to, try and have the Olympics on and watch it with the kids, my 3 kids.
Excellent. And Georgia, oh, pardon?
So I was going to say, maybe not for New Zealand, but the finals of the swimming are perfect timing for early morning training. So the kids will be able to go to early morning training and turn the TV on at 5 a.m. and the finals have just got started, and yeah, good timing. But maybe not in New Zealand.
Georgia, what are you most looking forward to at the upcoming Paris Olympics?
I'm really looking forward to seeing the gymnastic team compete. This is the first time since my second Olympics in London that the women's gymnastics has had a team qualify. So it's a pretty big deal, and it was very exciting when they did qualify. And I'm just looking forward to seeing them sort of do their thing and seeing where we're at against the world. Yeah, it's very, very exciting, and I'm just excited to see the opening and closing ceremony, just what Paris really does. It looks like it's going to be an amazing Olympics. I really wish I was over there to see it in person, but yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to, I mean, especially being the first one sort of post-COVID, they're going to set the standard for Olympics to follow, aren't they? I mean, this is what it's going to be measured against.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Paris is definitely a place of luxury, and I think they're going to bring that into the Olympics for sure. So I'm keen to see how they do that.
Absolutely. Are there any unique activities, we'll start with Susie, that you're offering at your swim school to coordinate with the Olympics?
Well, probably not so much of an activity, but we decorate our whole, what we call our viewing room, which is sort of all our reception area, just decorated with the green and gold, and we have posters up where children can write messages to whoever they like on the Olympic team. We've done that in the past, and 99% of the messages are always to but that's okay as well. We just have the balloons and the streamers, and we actually have a number of Olympians on staff that have also and have been through our program. So we have a little bio and photos of them up on the wall as well. And we have these little medals that the children get for in their lessons. Sort of everyone gets a medal in the end, but yeah, just fun little things to bring it on. And of course, the TV going throughout the whole time as well.
I was going to say, right, what more inspirational than having it there on the screen, right, as you're training, as you're learning. I mean, that's an activity, that's an offering in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, and our staff wear the green and gold as well. We encourage the children to come dressed up in their green and gold, particularly for that week of the swimming anyway, maybe not for both weeks, but the week of the swimming, yeah. And then we try and repeat bits of it again when the Paralympics are on as well.
Excellent. And Dean, what are you doing that's special at Northern Arena to sort of celebrate the Olympic spirit?
Yeah, so we're getting some. We've done it in the past when my brother and a few of our swim teachers were competing at the Common Games. We got big kind of cardboard cutouts, but core flute cutouts of them, life-size ones that the kids could come and have their photos taken with, and then send them messages of good luck. So we're going to have the guys that I just mentioned, our kind of homegrown talent, if you like, cardboard, big core flute cutouts of them. The kids can go and have a photo next to and send messages of good luck to. And then I've put myself out to a few local schools, so offering my services, in terms of just obviously going to have a chat to them about the Olympics.
Rent-a-Dean, the Rent-a-Dean, right?
Yeah, so just as a way of reaching out to schools and just helping them with their kind of Olympic activities that they're doing at school, and just offer that out for free as part of my time.
So in the last Commonwealth Games, you had a life-size cutout of your younger brother.
Sorry, he was in the 2014, I think.
And you had a life-size cardboard cutout of him?
Yeah. So there's a photo of my little son cuddling him. Because
I was going to say, if I had a life-size cutout of my younger brother, all the shenanigans.
Yeah. I've actually got to try and dig his one out and
Yep.
yeah, bring it out at his wedding.
Yes, see? Exactly. Exactly. Georgia, what are you offering at your school to celebrate the Olympics and bring in the Olympics spirit inside?
Yeah, so we run fortnightly themes for our junior gym program, so 6 months to 5-year-olds. So we'll definitely be running an Olympic themed um, lesson plan for them. So we'll decorate the gym, get them to come in their green and golds, and do sort of Olympic themed activities, maybe lots of different sports, things like that. And yeah, we might be doing a Q&A with some of the older kids, just to really, get them thinking about, Olympic sports and how to get there, and trying to connect them to the values that we sort of teach at Benora Sport, and how that comes into play when they try to achieve these types of goals.
Excellent. And with the upcoming Paris Olympics, I think Susie was saying before, it's likely to inspire a lot of children, a lot of parents to enroll into swimming and to gymnastics. How are you preparing for the expected increase in enrollments at your respective facilities? Susie?
Okay, so we've sort of got done quite a bit of teacher training over the last month, 6 weeks, and we've got some teachers ready to go to pick up extra spots as the need arises. And I mean, it coincides also obviously with going into spring, so we certainly do get a onslaught of children either coming back to swimming or starting swimming for the first time. And that's probably the main thing that we're really ready for, I guess, is just having that space to go.
Excellent. And Dean?
Yeah, same thing. We've got teachers in spaces that are ready. I mean, obviously during winter, you contract just a little bit anyway naturally. But we've got spaces and teachers ready to go. So we're looking forward to the influx.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, in swimming, it kind of makes sense that you're almost ready to scale up anyway. So that's rather serendipitous in some ways. Georgia, what about you? How are you preparing for what is likely to be an influx, especially with a women's team in the gymnastics?
Yeah, we're already ready. We're still in the building phase of the business anyway. So we're very excited for when the Olympics is on, and just being able to encourage more kids into the sport. We're ready to go. We've got spots available for them, so bring it on.
Have you planned
Sounds good.
any special marketing type campaigns to take it, given that you're already in a build phase? Have you planned anything to sort of take advantage of this new focus on gymnastics, especially as a business that's growing?
Yeah, we've definitely been doing a countdown towards the start of the Olympics, and we're going to be doing some flashbacks and some like I said earlier, some Q&As, just trying to get the most out of the kids being able to ask these questions that they have to an Olympian. So yeah, we're definitely gonna put some strategies in place to be able to market the most efficient way possible.
And the final group question for today, with the 2024 Olympics just around the corner, what advice would you give to someone that's looking to open a swim school or a gymnastics school, venue or any other sport really, where they're looking to inspire the next generation, right? If you're opening a facility, what would you tell them? Susie?
I think it would have to be around the focus of the children need to have fun first. It is about the children developing a love for being in the water or whatever you might be doing, and then it goes from there. And that's just not for someone who's opening a swim school. That's really for any parent that walks in the door as well. It's not about the end result. It's about the process along the way, and to be in it for the long run. There's no short-term success. It's a long, hard haul as such. And I've been doing it for almost, I guess, close to 40 years, and you sort of think, oh yeah, we're successful now, but 40 years ago we were like you, Georgia, and just starting out and had 2 teachers and nothing else, and doing 100 hours a week type of thing, and seeing, and you're in it for the long haul. But you've got to love it. You've got to have that passion for it.
A great answer.
Yeah, but I do sometimes think other people look at you and think how easy and how successful it is, and I can do that, but it's not quick.
I mean, that is a great answer. Dean, did you have anything to add to that answer?
Not really, mate. I think I had a couple of notes there for that one. I think you've nailed it. I just said fun. You've got to give them the love of the sport or the activity, and then the skills that they have to do. Like it's developmentally appropriate skills. Often, I think in swimming, and maybe in gymnastics too, people are trying to teach the whole thing, or a stroke that is competitive, when in fact kids not developmentally able to achieve those, and so it actually ends up hurting them because they can't do it. So I think every activity, it's how you can make those sound activities, not just chucking toys in the pool and off you go for 15-20 minutes. It's how you can make those, each activity, each learning skill, fun, and obviously, like it comes down to the teacher's engagement with the kids. If the kids are loving it, then you're going to go well.
And Georgia as well, I'll just repeat the question. So, advice to someone who's looking to do what you're doing, right? In the spirit of the Olympics, inspiring the next generation, what advice do you have from what you've learned so far?
Yeah, I would say to just not be afraid. Not be afraid to try things. I've had this goal for a very long time, and I think I probably could have started it a lot earlier, just because it was such a big thing to do, to try and take it on myself, to want to teach kids and teach them gymnastics and inspire them to want to go to an Olympic Games. It seems like a very, very big thing, but it's the hardest part is starting it. From there, it's just lots of little steps, lots of trial and error, lots of learning, and also that you can't do it by yourself. You need to have people supporting you, have a good support team. I started this thinking that I could do it by myself. I'm guessing from being a gymnast, it's a very, you're on the beam by yourself, so you rely on yourself. And I think I had that mentality starting this process. And you just can't. You just need to have a really good support system around you. People who know things that you don't know, people who are smarter than you, people who have different skills. So that's what I would suggest.
I think that's been my favorite question out of what we've done today, just because Susie, I thought your answer was everything. But really, Dean and Georgia, you've added to that so well, and I think that's a really rounded out answer to what was, on the face of it, kind of an easy question, but what a great answer to that. Thank you all for that. That will just about do us for today. Did any of you have any final thoughts on the Olympics, on what you've done that you wanted to share with us?
Well, I bought one of Emma's medals if you wanted to have a look.
Yes, bling. We like bling.
So, comes in a little box.
Excellent. Wow, very cool. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, that is nice.
Yeah, they're very heavy.
I was going to say, I haven't seen one up close before, and I'm a little surprised
on
with
the
the width.
The event, and this one is the medley relay, which was the very last event of the program. Yeah, so
I always thought they'd write them like they used to do in school. I always thought the event would be on the back. Yeah, they have it on the little box for like what it's for, and they kind of scrape it in with a key or something.
You get a little you see that you get a little badge as well.
Oh wow!
A little pin. So I guess the idea is that you wouldn't take your medals somewhere, but you could, I guess, wear the pin as such.
Do they do that at every Olympics, or is that just for this set? Is that a novel thing with the pin idea?
I don't know about every Olympics, but certainly for Rio and Tokyo, she's got pins. Yeah. Mm.
Wow.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad I asked that question. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's all right.
Dean, I always give you a hard act to follow.
I don't certainly don't think that. I don't actually know where my Commonwealth silver is, to be honest, mate. I have to figure around in the cupboard somewhere. No, I just think, look, if we're we're passionate people in the industry and we want people to succeed. I think I'm just gonna got a love of watching the Olympics and watching humans achieve things that perhaps we thought weren't possible. I think the only thing else I could add was that we created a race academy to try and get kids to give them a cap and a t-shirt and tell them they're awesome, because I think other sports perhaps do that a little bit better than us, certainly in New Zealand, to try and give them that first taste of competing. And so we've got our race academy this Friday night, so looking forward to getting in there with the kids. And I think with swim schools around the place, they need to look at trying to create a link to a club and have like an agreed time of when they're going to pass those kids along, because it will probably benefit both the swim school and the club to create that kind of strong relationship, a good working relationship.
That's very true.
And Georgia, any final thoughts?
No, thank you for having me and including me in this discussion. It's lovely to talk to you both, and yeah, I'm super excited for Paris. And I've learned a lot in this conversation as well, just hearing I'm at the very start of the journey, and you guys are like up here, so being able to hear some info on how you guys do things, I feel very, very blessed to be in this position where I can hear these conversations. So yeah, thank you.
It's great to have the perspectives from, all three of you. You can almost see the generations move through. So it's been, I think, really valuable to everyone that's going to watch this, to learn from all of you, from starting a business to, heading up a swim school, to owning a swim school and passing that legacy along. I think that this is going to be a really great resource for anyone we share this with to watch. So a big thank you to Susie, Dean, and Georgia for joining me here today and to share their experiences. From all of us here at iClassPro, the best of luck for those that are going and participating in the upcoming 2024 Olympics. And to everybody who is watching this, may we do so, maybe watch those Olympics with the hope of inspiring the next generation to excellence, whatever that might mean for them, whether that be business, sports, academia. I think that is the most celebrated thing about the Olympics, that it is a celebration of excellence. For any more information on iClassPro or to get any support, please do visit us at www.iclasspro.com. Thank you once again, everybody, for joining me here today.